This is tutorial number 4 for the Photoshop focus area collage. We've had a look at a few different tips and tricks. So now I'm going to open up another layer. I've got my pencil case layer here. So I'm going to open that layer up. I found this image that I really liked of a pencil case on Google Images, but the image came through with these little subsections that I don't really want. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out my image so that I don't have these bits here. And because this is a rectangle, a really quick way to do this is to go over here to my tools section, and the second one down, if I right click on it, gives me what we call marquee tools. And these create running ants that help us to cut things out, to help us select things. I'm going to use the rectangular marquee tool, and I'm going to put it at the top left hand corner, and I'm going to left click and drag over what I would like to select. Now, if I hit delete or backspace now, I'm going to actually delete the bit that I want. So if you do something like that by mistake, you can go to edit and undo, or you can simply do Command or Control Z. So I want to cut out what is around my square, not what's in it. In order to do that, I go up to Select and Inverse, and this will select everything that is in between my big rectangle of running ants and my little square of running ants. So if I hit backspace or delete now, it will get rid of the extra little pictures that I didn't want. So Control or Command D to get rid of the running ants. The background on my pencil case has got is grey, so it should be relatively easy to delete. It's got a couple of different shades of grey in there, but it's similar to getting rid of the white. So I'll just zoom in so that we can have a better look at what we're doing. So Control or Command plus to zoom in. Then I'm going to go over and get my magic wand tool, and I'm going to click on a grey area, and it's selected almost all of it. It's just missed this dark grey area underneath here. So I can hold down my Shift key and click on the dark grey area underneath that it hasn't selected, and that will grab it. There's another way that I could try and grab the pencil case that I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to do Control or Command D to get rid of the running ants. And that's a new tool in Photoshop that's really exciting. And that is the Object Selection tool. That's new to this edition of Photoshop. So it's in the same little sub-menu as the Magic Wand tool, but it's at the top. And I click on Object Selection, and it works in a similar way to the Marquee tool, where what I'm going to do is go to the top left-hand corner, and I'm going to left click and drag a square over whatever it is that I want to be selected. And then I need to be a bit patient. I'm going to let go, and you'll see I get these little spinning dots, and it's grabbed it quite quickly because it's a relatively smooth outline, and that's grabbed all of it. So that's brilliant. Now again, I'll just zoom out for a little bit, so Control minus or Command minus. I want to get rid of what is around the pencil case, not the pencil case. So because I've done this in a slightly different way, I'm going to go Select, Inverse, and then backspace or delete. Control or Command D to get rid of the running ants. And I'll just do Control or Command 0 to take it back to its full size. I'm just going to show you another little effect that we could add to our pencil case if we wanted to. So I'm going to go over to the layers menu on the right hand side, and I'm going to double click, and that will bring up a style menu. So one of the things that I could do, I've got lots and lots of different things here that you can try out. Don't be afraid to experiment and try things. But something that might look quite good on my pencil case is a drop shadow. So if I go down to the bottom of my menu and click on drop shadow, you can see that straight away it's added a little shadow down there. We can go in and play with that though and make it a little bit better. So if I double click on drop shadow, it gives me the menu if you haven't already got that. And then what I do is I play with these sliders and I watch what happens to the shadow that's around the pencil case until I get it the way that I like it. I can also pick up the shadow and move it around if I want to. Notice when I do that, it moves this little angle dial. So I can change the opacity of it, make it darker or lighter. I can change how big my shadow is, so I can make it quite subtle if I want to, and I can change how fuzzy it is or how definite it is. So that's something that you can have a little play with on images that you think are suitable for a drop shadow. Not all images might be suitable, so just have a look. Click OK if you're happy, or cancel if you're not. So I'm going to click OK. Now later on, the really cool thing about Photoshop is if I decide that actually I don't like my drop shadow, I can go over to my layers menu and I can find the little eyeball next to the effect that I've added. And if you watch what happens when I click on that eyeball, I can turn that off. Or if I change my mind and decide actually I do want it, I can turn it back on again. Okay, let's see if we can do one more technique. So I've got an image of a shade sail here, a non-apparel textile item. The first thing I'm going to do is use my move tool and Control T or Command T to make it bigger so that I can actually see what I want to do with it. There we go. So it's a difficult one to cut out. So I'm going to do a similar thing to what I did with the hammock image. I'm going to leave it as it is, but I'd quite like to put some sort of border around it. Before I do that though, I'd quite like my border to match some of the other colours that I've got going on my board already. It's good if you can get things to link up by using similar colours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a swatch panel of colours that I like. You'll probably find that your menu looks like this and you need to click on the swatches tab to have that open. Then I'm going to go over to my tools menu on the left hand side and I'm going to go down to the 4, 5, 6, the 7th one down, which is the eyedropper tool. So it's like a little pipette and I'm going to go and squeeze up a little bit of pigment from my Photoshop page. So I'm going to click on that. And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to choose some colours from the different images. So I'm going to have a colour from my background, a colour from my bag, a colour from my pencil case, maybe a colour from over here. So you can see I'm building a really lovely colour palette over here. I'm going to use these colours in a moment, so I'm going to go back, grab my move tool so that I don't do anything by accident, grab my move tool, make sure I'm on the right layer, on the shade sail layer, and I'm going to double click in this grey area to the side in order to bring up my style menu again. This time I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go to the stroke selection. So just a quarter of the way down, click on stroke, and you can see it brings up a stroke straight away. And if I double click to make sure I've got the stroke menu up, I can choose the color. So if I click on the color, I can actually override my spectrum here, and I can choose a color from my color palette so that it matches perfectly, and then click OK. My stroke, which is the graphic design name for my outline, is quite thin at the moment, so I have the opportunity to use the slider and make it bigger and smaller until it's the size that I want it. I can play with all of these different menu options here until I get the kind of outline that I want, but I'm pretty happy with that one, so I'm going to leave it like that and click on OK. So those are two different techniques that you can apply. The cutting out in a different way using the object selection tool, using a drop shadow as a layer style, or using a coloured stroke as an outline to go around the outside of an image if you want to. Go and have a play with those, see which ones are applicable to the collage that you want to make. It's okay if you don't want to use all of these techniques. It's just about building your skills and experimenting. So go and have a play, and then I'll see you for the next tutorial, continuing to build on more complex skills in Photoshop.